on this episode of Shooting the Shit with Sands.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I am who I am. My name is my name. Welcome in to another video of Shooting the Shit with Sands. With the list, with the goddamn retainer in. All right, guys. So we got a game 7 today. We have the start of a new series today with Cleveland and Indiana. I'm going to go over Indiana and Cleveland real quick, and we're going to talk about the game 7 because I'm just baffled that this still happens in the NBA in 2025, as I made a TikTok video about it. So Indiana versus the Cavs. Y'all have criminally underrated Indiana all season. I told y'all going into the playoffs, they are a real team. These motherfuckers can hoop. Now, I think their ceiling is a little bit lower than guys like the Cavs, the Celtics, the Thunder, the Nuggets. They just don't have that individual talent that you need, that those two superstars. Now, Pascal Siakam is an all-NBA forward in this league. Tyrese Haliburton has been an all-NBA point guard this year. All right. They have plenty of talent, but I just don't see that ceiling being there. But they also, they make up for that with ball movement, teamwork, and y'all have underrated all of that when it comes to them. So let's talk about it. All right, it's on the season. They're 1-1 to me. It's really 1-3 in Indiana's favor. Last two games, the Cavs basically said, we're not going for 70 wins anymore. We're sitting the starters. Let's get ready for the playoffs. I think Andrew Nembhard has he's got something on him. I think Pascal can be on him. I think they have a lot of bodies to throw at Donovan. I think they did not see anything. They did not get a preview of real playoff basketball playing this shitty-ass Heat team that I root for, by the way. One of the worst teams in the NBA this year. Legitimately made the playoffs off pure ego and having two fantastic young players that carried the load the whole way of the season. So, not happy about it, by the way. As we get along through the season, I have regretted wanting them to get in the play and to piss fans off because now it's pissed me off. All right. So these are my key points to this matchup. Key points. The ball movement by the Indiana Pacers. Now, I know Tyrese Haliburton, he isn't some super high assist guy. He's, 19-8, 19-9, something like that. He isn't wild with the assist. The team ball movement that he kind of influences with how quick he plays, with how he maintains the pace of the game, he is very good at that. And I've been talking about it for years. All these teams that have been looking for a point guard could never contend. And then when they find one, go look at every team that you think can win a title and tell me if they have a lead guard. Not a point guard, a lead guard. Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray, Drew Holiday. Before they had Kemba, Marcus Smart. That is the main example of that. Steph Curry. Fred VanVleet is a great lead guard. I don't think they can win a championship, but they're in a game 7. Darius Garland with Donovan Mitchell. All of them. All of them. So I think they have that type of formula, but I think these teams are both deep, but I don't think Indiana's depth is as talented as the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they have more players that don't have as talented as players. Now, Ty Jerome, we can say this is some fluky shit. He has been doing it for 87 games, guys, or 86 games, excuse me. We got swept. Lost by 60 at home, Heat fans. But we're worried about Tyler Hero. I'm worried about the white kid averaging fucking 24 a game. Oh, God. All right, anyways, this isn't about them. Another thing is I'm worried about some of the spacing issues that Indiana can cause on the offensive end for the Cleveland's defense, with Miles Turner being able to shoot from the corner, Pascal Siakam being able to, get the ball in the perimeter and get to the cup whenever he pleases. I think that can cause a lot of issues for the Cleveland Cavaliers and get them out of sorts, kind of. But I just think they're amazing on defense. And Evan Mobley is an incredible individual defender along with Jarrett Allen. I just think Jared Allen's going to have a little bit of trouble in this series because he's not going to be getting those easy help rotations that he usually gets. He's going to be having to help from the corner a lot of times, to be honest. And I think that can cause a lot of issues, mostly when somebody as little. And how ironic is this? One of my points, and it wasn't even trying to be funny, is I can't wait to see Darius Garland get picked on. And the way I phrased that is a diss to him towards Hero, but I literally put Darius Garland is probably going to get picked on because if Tyler Hero can pick on you, the dude that franchise needs to trade because he's so fucking terrible apparently, if he can drop a 30 bomb on you every time he sees you, I promise Pascal can do it. This team is going to do way worse to you. All right, because the thing with the Heat is they got 2 offensive options on the entire floor. Indiana, all 5 of the guys can get to the hole. All 5 of the guys can get a bucket. You ain't going to get all that help, Darius. You're going to have to stand up, all 5'9" of you, and try to defend somebody. That's what you're going to have to do, and I think he's going to get bullied in this fucking series. And I'm hoping for that. That came off quite aggressive, and I meant it that way. Okay, and the thing is, I fuck with Darius. But I think it's hilarious for a 5'9" little bitty man to talk shit about somebody who just busted his ass and gave him 30, told they go pick on him. I just hate that shit. But Darius is cold as fuck. And then Andrew Nembhard versus Donovan Mitchell. I like that matchup. I like maybe when the Dean Wades, or if they get that deep in the rotation. I don't think they'll get that deep in the rotation. I hope they don't have to. But if a guy like Max Strus is on the floor, maybe Pascal can switch, get Nembhard on Max Strus, have Pascal on Donovan, and have some backline guys like Obi Toppin on Evan Mobley, because I don't think Evan Mobley's bag is all that great. I think he has developed into a 6'11" guy that can hit a contested shot finally and can hit a wide open 3. I think he's developed into that. I don't think he has some crazy offensive bag, though. I thought his paint points were always good. I thought Evan Mobley always had a paint game. It was about the shit that was outside of 5 feet that he couldn't hit with a 6'2" guy guarding him, and he can see over him like he's a child. That's what I had a problem with him. And that was the biggest question going into the season was, can Evan Mobley learn how to play offensive basketball? And he has over-exceeded expectation. So those are kind of the things I'm looking at, because they have a lot of bodies to throw at Donovan Mitchell. Now, I, for one, I know how great Donovan Mitchell is. As y'all beg on your knees for a 36-year-old Kevin Durant coming to your team, whoever it is, I would much rather have Donovan Mitchell. There's a lot of people on this earth that will tell you with a straight face that Kevin Durant is better than Donovan Mitchell at basketball. And I would ask them, can I see the playoffs, please? I ain't never seen Donovan Mitchell average 30 and get swept. I haven't seen Donovan Mitchell get embarrassed in a playoff series. Get dog walk, get shit talked to. None of that. I saw him play with Rudy Gobert. That's what I saw. Donovan Mitchell is a playoff riser, man. So I do not doubt Donovan's ability, mostly after that one game in the first round, bro. He scored every point of the fourth quarter. I believe his teammates made 2 field goals outside of him was it the closeout game, or was it game? It definitely wasn't the closeout game because it was a 60-pointer. It was game 3. He made every shot in the fourth quarter to start out until, I believe Darius Garland got a layup and a free throw. And up until that point, nobody scored. And the Heat lost single-handedly to that guy. And he is one of my favorite players in the league because he reminds me of that dude. He is a clone of him. Honestly, the way that the Euro steps, the splitting of the double teams, the jump off a springboard out of nowhere, that type of shit, that's Donovan, and I absolutely love his game. Now, on the Indiana side, I just think it's a lot to deal with. I think there's a lot of bad matchups for y'all as well. And I think Miles Turner, if Jarrett Allen is out there on Miles Turner isn't one of those pump fake, get by a guy. He doesn't have any like moves in his bag to get to the hole, really. I haven't seen it. I watched plenty of Pacers basketball this year. I haven't seen it. I think the Pacers have a lot of athletes, like quick, twitchy athletes. I think the Cavs have freakishly long athletes, and I think the Indiana Pacers have this quick twitch team. I think that is a very interesting matchup, to be honest, because I want to see how even a guy like Obi Toppin against the backups, I would like to see how they handle a guy like that, handle a guy like Benedict Mathurin, which I am still like in the Benedict Mathurin camp. I don't think he's some potentially elite player. I just feel like he has something that hasn't been unlocked. You know what I mean? And the pace of the game is going to be the fun part of this series if we see that portion of it. Now, the Cleveland Cavs, I would recommend them to slow it up, because the thing about the Indiana Pacers is once they start running in transition and they start getting easy buckets, you're going to look up and you're going to forget that this team has been a top 10 defense since the play-in tournament. No, not the fucking mid-season tournament. Jesus. You're like, well, it was 2 weeks ago. Fucking, that's not impressive. Since the mid-season tournament, they've been a top 10 defense in there. Just because you see them run fast breaks the whole game, you think they can't fucking defend. They force a lot of turnovers. I promise you this, as my mic squeaks over and over, I promise you this, Donovan Mitchell does not want to see those Aaron Nesmith minutes. Now, he may bust his ass a couple times. Those are going to be some hard minutes for Donovan. All right. And as much as I'm talking about the Pacers and their strengths, I think it is so hard to talk about the Cavs, because I can't point out a flaw. I can't. I have watched so much Cavalier basketball, and every time I watch them, I don't know what I could bitch about. They don't give up shitty offensive rebounds. They rarely have bad basketball IQ plays. They don't turn the ball over. Their offense doesn't get stagnant, but even when it does, they have two of the best creative shot guys in the league. They got no flaws to me. That's why when my team was going against them, I was like, why do we care about these games so much and like critiquing players? What do you want us to do? Our best player is a 6'2". Tyler Hero is my height and weighs 30 pounds less than me, bro. That's all I'm saying. And this Cavs team is just fun to watch. Incredible basketball team. And I'm not saying that because they beat the Heat. And I think the middle school up the street can beat that team. So that wasn't that impressive to me. I'm not basing them off a Heat series. Where is Andrew Wiggins? Somebody. APB. Take that one out too. Jesus Christ. Okay. So in this series, I've said a lot of inappropriate things I had to cut. Okay. In this series, I am picking the Cavs. I could see it going 7. I just think that top end of the Cavs is so high. But I will take Cavs in 7. And I don't pick every series in 7. I think a lot of these teams are kind of just slept on. I think the Celtics beat the shit out of the Knicks in probably 5. I don't even want to preview that series. I don't even want to talk about the Celtics or the Knicks. I'll have Chris on here to talk about the Celtics. How about that? So with that all being said, I think what it's going to come down to, and I always say this, right? It's not the main thing, but it kind of is the main thing is just the overlay of the series. Like, hey, what's the main point here? The thesis. I think that the star is better than the other star. And I know they do 2 different things, but I think Donovan has such a high ceiling, and I think that he can outdo Pascal and Tyrese, and I think Darius can even the workload out, and I think he can outdo Tyrese in a lot of these games. But I love that matchup with those 2. So into the game 7. I'm not going to go too long on this, but with the game 7 today with the Warriors and the Rockets, I'm seeing the shit that has kind of broken my brain with the zones in the NBA. I didn't believe it was real when the Heat did it, and the Heat did it as an 8 seed and made it to the finals. And the Heat had actually implemented that zone since, I believe, the bubble. And the rest of the league kind of copycatted that with the small guards on the wings. So they have help going baseline, help going middle with longer guys at the top. The Jimmys at the top. You know what I mean? Jimmy and Jay Crowder at the top of a zone, big, long, lanky guys. And then you got Tyler Hero in the deep corner of the zone on the weak side. So when he gets beat, there's help defense in the middle, help defense on the baseline. He basically has free will on defense. Those are those things, but there are so many. Like, call a timeout and tell people to move. Call a timeout and say, drive into the zone. James Harden stood, right? Because usually in a zone now, the way that everybody attacks it that doesn't work is in the way that you're told to defeat a zone, get the ball in the middle. Now, getting the ball in the middle doesn't always mean you have to pass the ball to the middle. And I think that is what is going through these fucking players' brains as if they are in middle school and don't know how to read a zone. James Harden is bringing the ball straight off the floor, right? And the way people like to attack it is a guy on the extended elbow, corner, guy at the elbow, in the middle of the floor. James Harden has the ball in the middle of the floor and just stayed there. I got 7.5 with 10 assists. I'm cooking. He ended with 7 points because he's a fucking playoff bozo. Quit comparing him to Dwayne Wade for the last time. For the last time, quit comparing him to Dwayne Wade. Please. One dude has 3 rings. The other dude just fucked 3 Kardashians. I promise they are different. That is different. He wanted every day. James Harden just wanted a bad bitch, a fat check, and a beard, bro. That's it. He's a hooper. Cool. Love regular season hoopers. Love KD in the regular season. Love him. Fuck. But with Harden, back to deciphering the zone, he's sitting in the middle of the floor, so there is no overload on either side. There is no way to beat it. If you're in the middle of the zone, this dude on this elbow can come guard you while this guy on this elbow and in the corner guard those guys. Because the dude in the middle, the center, is coming up and nobody's moving baseline. There is no movement. Kawhi can't catch the ball and dribble. He's getting doubled on the first dribble that he takes. Damn near on the catch. But they wouldn't do it on the catch because they are very smart. Adelman is smart. He said, nah, Kawhi's that good of a playmaker. You can't double team on the catch. You can with Harden because he picks up his dribble so quick. It is baffling to see that. And now in the Golden State series, you're losing to Steven Adams and Fred VanVleet, and Fred is ice water. No, I will never slander Fred. I don't know how he's made it this long in the league. And you can just tell Fred VanVleet take at least 15 milligrams before he goes on the court. He eats a fucking Haribo gummy bear filled with THC before he heads out there. I ain't never seen somebody do some shit that he's doing. There is no way a person that is sober calculates a shot like the shit he shoots from 32 feet where it almost hits the AC unit in a fucking arena. The ball goes off the screen. The cameraman is sitting in the top row. That man is high as shit out there, okay? This zone is brutalizing them. Steve Kerr is refusing to play Jonathan Kuminga. And he did for the last 2 weeks. And I know he was coming off injury, trying to get back, but there has been this little back and forth with this Kuminga stuff. There are theories that they don't want to pay him. There are theories they wanted to trade him, but they didn't. And I think you have Pods out there playing against this massive team in a zone. Pods ain't doing much, man. He had one good game. Hey, he can shoot. He's just he's not the athlete that I would want out there in this series. I just don't know how you can play a team that plays bully ball like that and roll out two very undersized guards. And Steph Curry, to this point, is the best. How do I say? It's his best defensive era he's ever had. Is current. I believe last 2 years, Steph Curry, he came back after an injury. That one injury, was it that the ankle injury a while back? Was it the hand? I forgot what it was. 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. He came back and he looked like a different dude. And I've never seen a body transformation this late in a career, other than when LeBron went on that vegan diet and was hella skinny. And I thought he was washed. It was when he won the chip in 2015, 2016. I thought he was done. He was skinny as shit. That's the only time I've seen a body transformation that late in a career. And Steph Curry is fantastic on defense, and he's not necessarily undersized to me anymore. Maybe against this particular team, but Steph Curry can hold his own at this point. I'm not roasting Steph Curry for defense anymore. And he's one of the best team defenders in basketball, by the way. Steph Curry is. That's why he's always getting steals, because he's right in the passing lane. But if I'm going against Dylan Brooks' troll ass, Amin Thompson's Tasmanian devil play style with Alfred Sengun out there, and Tari Eason, who's 6'9", 6'10", and Jabari Smith, who's 6'9", 6'10", and my tallest player is Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green at 6'7". Did you not see what happened to the Lakers? I told y'all fucking 4 years ago. Do I need to roll the clip? I'll just post the Spotify episode description. When Giannis won his first title, I said, yo, the big man is coming back. If you do not have good, big players after the Lakers title, I knew it. I knew it. It's coming back. Because you're going to zig and go all small guys and all shooting. And then the smart teams are going to go out there and go get a big motherfucker that can just rebound everything and get 25 extra possessions that may end in twos. But guess what? All those extra twos are going to catch up to your fucking threes. That's how math works. And once again, I say things and say, hey, it's a trend. I don't just say it. Go look at the teams. Who has been in the finals the last 5 years? Brook Lopez, Giannis, Porzingis. Well, I mean, Daniel Tyson, them weren't the greatest center matchup, I would say. But Robert Williams was a very playable big. He was. Al Horford, very good big. Right? The Suns, DeAndre Ayton, he may play like a bitch, but he was an 18-point per game big. It is endless. Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Jokic, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. You think they're going to the finals, right? This shit is right in front of you. We all want some fucking athletic wing that can shoot threes. Bam Adebayo, also elite center. In the finals twice. It's right in front of your face. You knew you needed to address size. You didn't, because Draymond probably was fucking screaming at you in the office. He's probably in there shouting his fucking head off. Y'all trying to replace me? No, Draymond, you're 6'6". Yeah, we may have to play Jaren Jackson Jr., who's 6'11". I don't give a fuck. I'll handle him. Okay. You can't handle Steven Adams, motherfucker. And even when the Warriors were winning titles, Draymond is a great defender. A great big. He is. At his role, he is. They still had the Kevon Looney's of the world. They had the David West of the world, who was a dog. They had Andrew Bogut. Bro, it's in your face, brother. It's in your face. So I want to overreact, and I want to say the Warriors could never find a solution to this zone. Dog, clear that bench out and foul Steven Adams every time he touches the ball. I think Kerr will do that. I think Kerr is going to play Hacken Adams until, as a viewer, you want to turn the TV off. I really do believe that. He'll do it. I'm just going to depend on championship culture. All right, and I know that's some corny shit, but we saw it with the Nuggets, did we not? Harden ain't got that shit in him. It's a Clippers franchise. They ain't got that shit in them. All right. Steve Ballmer flew him out from L.A., bro. Flew him from L.A. to get beat by 30 in a Game 7. Great ownership, but Jesus. That's all I'll say, man. It's going to be tough for the Warriors, but I just believe in the intelligence of that team. I think they are smarter and more calculated than most teams left in the playoffs. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt with, I don't know, 2 of the top 10, 15 greatest players. Steph, easy. I'm trying to judge Jimmy on where he ranks in like my pantheon of guys. But yeah, Steph's like number 2. Is he? Not 3. He's 3. He might be 2. He might be 2 that I've ever seen. KD's probably number 7 now. All right. I'm done. But I do pick the Warriors. And then the next series, we'll talk about it when it happens. That's going to be a rough one. And then, yeah, I'm taking Cleveland and I'll take Cleveland in 6 because I respect the greatness, and I think their peak is the highest peak. So that's the take. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I'm out. Dude.